Part 147. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1461. Chapter 1461 June Chennai Extra Chapter, 75. The sales of the new songs are great. There will be a lot of interviews during this period. Just prepare yourself. Your assistant and manager will tell you other things. June Chennai explained, got up and put on his suit jacket. Little Cherry looked at the man's upright back, turned away silently with a blushing face, and swallowed. On the way to the company, Xiaoying didn't even talk to June Chennai. After sending Xiaoying back to the company, the two of them were silent. Soon they were in their respective fields, and June Chennai left. And the people in the company looked at them with a bit more ambiguity. After all, they are still on the hot search. Cherry went over to meet the members of the girl group. "Oh my God, Captain, I can't believe that the boss looks so cold, but he turns out to be so warm when it comes to falling in love." June Chennai did not come to the company to work yesterday, so it could be seen that he had been taking care of little Cherry, who was feeling unwell. Tisk, it's self-evident how busy June Chennai is, but he still loves beauty more than Zhang Shen. Little Cherry ignored their teasing and just replied calmly, "Okay, let's get to work. I have a poster to shoot later." Everyone feels very discouraged. Why is little Cherry so strict with her mouth? Can't she reveal some sweet love details? Speaking of which, being June Chennai's girlfriend is really like the Save the Universe series in my previous life. Envy, jealousy, hate. After shooting the poster, Smile also accepted an interview, during which of course he asked about the relationship between Xiaoying and June Chennai. However, the assistant interrupted and said that he was only answering work-related questions. Xiaoying smiled awkwardly and said nothing. Although the reporter looked disappointed, he did not delve into it further. After the interview, little Cherry finally breathed a sigh of relief. Most of the questions were arranged, and you just had to answer them according to the script. But little Cherry didn't know why. She just felt exhausted physically and mentally, and she probably still felt confused. Little Cherry didn't say anything to the members. Everyone was tired after a long day's work and on the way back to the company. No one paid attention to little Cherry's expression at this moment. Just as everyone returned to the company, Xiaoying Tao was stopped by Xiao Liang. Xiao Liang drove a car over and said something to Xiaoying Tao. The members then saw Xiaoying Tao getting into Xiao Liang's car. "Is the captain commuting with the boss now?" Jin Muzi murmured in a low voice. This morning was also the company where June Chennai sent little Cherry. "Isn't it too fast for both of them?" The younger sister followed again. "The relationship is established quickly and progress is as fast as a rocket." It was hard for people to react at all. They never found out that June Chennai had any special care for little Cherry, but somehow they ended up together. After a few girls gossiped together, someone suddenly mentioned, "Do you think the boss is using the captain to promote him?" After all, Smile's popularity has indeed increased a lot since Xiaoying Yingying and June Chennai announced their relationship. Thanks to the captain, it is often on the hot search list. The popularity of GNE, which is always keen on hyping the draft, is not as popular as Smile. Some people even started to call GNE the second generation group of Smile because the positioning is too similar to Smile and it was released after Smile. The performance of GNE's new songs was also crushed by Smile. They can't stand it. It is said that they are already considering a gradual transformation. No way. Jin Muzi opened his eyes wide. Although he said so, his heart was already shaking. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1462. Chapter 1462 June Chennai Extra Chapter, 76. The boss doesn't seem like the person to do this. It doesn't look like it at all. June Chennai dislikes hype the most, and Shengding is well known in the industry for not liking hype the most. How could Jun Chennai use himself to hype up the popularity of the girl group? Firstly, the price is high, and secondly, the risk is high. Before speculation, who knows whether it will become more popular the more it is speculated, or the more it becomes mushy the more it is speculated. But it is undeniable that this incident has indeed brought about qualitative changes to our group. But, I feel like the boss doesn't have that kind of, how to put it, very intimate look towards the captain? Do you understand what I mean? The younger sister said. Thinking about it carefully, Jun Chennai looked at everyone indifferently, and Little Cherry was no exception. Regardless of what Jun Chennai did to Little Cherry, there seemed to be no difference in the way he looked at her in his eyes and expressions. No different from others. They say you can't hide the look in someone's eyes when you love them. Thinking about it this way, it is indeed strange. No wonder the captain is reluctant to discuss her and the boss's affairs with us. What if it's true? In fact, the boss treats the captain very well, but the way he treats the captain is different from others. Think about it, the boss made an exception to let the captain join the company from the beginning. Later, he also treated the captain very well when he was a trainee. The captain is very optimistic. I think it is not impossible for them to get together, but I heard that the boss's mother is difficult to deal with. She has been introducing blind dates to the boss before, and they are all ladies and gentlemen. The captain, with her background, can you like it? Everyone was silent. Okay, don't talk about this. It doesn't seem right to discuss the captain behind his back. Let's discuss what to eat later. I want to eat Korean food. Me too. Go to the one on Victory Street, it's super delicious. When Xiaoying Tao saw Xiao Liang, her first reaction was that Jun Chennai was looking for her. However, when Xiao Liang explained the reason, Xiaoying Tao was stunned. Mrs. Jun wants to see her. Jun Chennai's mother wants to see her. Does the boss know? Little Cherry sat in the car and asked Xiao Liang. Xiao Liang shook his head, I don't know, but you'd better not tell him. Little Cherry frowned. From Xiao Liang's tone, it seemed that the person who came here was ill-intentioned. Little Cherry's heart was heavy and she could only stare outside, thinking about what to say when they meet later. With her embarrassing status, she really didn't know what to say when meeting Mrs. Jun. Mrs. Jun must have read the news on the internet and found out about her and Jun Chennai's affairs, and believed it to be true, so she came to see her. The daughter-in-law that Mrs. Jun has always been optimistic about is Moun. As for her, if you search for her online, you can also find her previous history as an anchor and internet celebrity. Although it is not a shameful thing, it is different in the eyes of a lady like Mrs. Jun. Little Cherry felt a little panicked and lacked confidence. She is not afraid that Mrs. Jun will give her a hard time, because with her personality, she will never be a bad guy, and she will definitely fight back. But what she was afraid of was that if she didn't keep her composure and got into a fight with Mrs. Jun, she wouldn't know how to explain to Jun Chennai. Could it be that she had a fight with his mother? Forget it, she'd better endure it as much as possible. The car stopped, and Xiao Ying followed Xiao Liang into a high-end store, then entered an exquisite box and saw the woman sitting upright with a delicate and beautiful face. I'm getting fat. Normal updates are back to normal. Let's do the math. I owed about a week's worth of updates. Rounding it off, it's about 30,000 words. I'll make it up to you later. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1463. Chapter 1463 Jun Chennai Extra, 77. If little Cherry hadn't known in advance that she was going to meet June Chennai's mother, she would definitely not have thought that the well-maintained and beautiful woman in front of her who looked like she was only in her 30s was a person with a son in his 20s. "Hello, Auntie." Little Cherry showed a faint smile, said hello, and then sat down opposite Mrs. June. After Mrs. June saw little Cherry, her eyes kept wandering over little Cherry, looking at her carefully. Judging from the look on her face, she probably didn't like little Cherry very much, little Cherry could tell. Mrs. June's eyes made little Cherry feel uncomfortable, like sharp swords being fired at her. "Are you dating Chennai?" Mrs. June went straight to the point and started asking questions aggressively. Little Cherry clenched her hands into fists and nodded firmly, yes. She didn't know why she didn't hesitate at all. She answered directly like she was stating the facts. Mrs. June raised her eyes, her disdain evident. "Do you know Moun?" "Mrs. June, this problem is obvious. This is to make it clear to Xiaoying that the only daughter-in-law she considers is Moun." "No." Xiaoying Tao didn't want to lie, but looked calm, "But Chennai and I really love each other." Although Xiaoying's face was calm, she was very panicked in her heart. Her heart rate was always very fast, especially when she mentioned the word Chenyi, it became even more obvious. She has never called June Chennai's name so intimately. Sincerely, Mrs. Jun's face became more and more ugly, and the look she looked at little Cherry became more and more unfriendly. "You are a smart man. You should have known from the beginning that I could not let you be with my son. What Chennai needs is a matron of the June family, someone who can help him manage the entire June family and the June group. You simply can't fulfill such an obligation." "How do you know that I can't do it?" Little Cherry had a smile on her face, not aggressive at all, but it made Mrs. Jun's eyes darken. "This girl has a very high rank. Because of your origin and background, it is destined that you cannot do it." Little Cherry licked the broken hair around her ears and said slowly, "I didn't expect you, Mrs. June, to be a hero based on your birthplace. To put it bluntly, it's just status discrimination. Although it sounds unpleasant, it is a fact. It is self-evident how much influence one's origin and background have on a person. There are very few truly noble children from poor families. I don't want the June family or Chenyi to have to bear such a risk." Even though Mrs. June said such sarcastic remarks, she was elegant and did not show any expression that was inappropriate for her manners. Sure enough, this is a noble lady, a lady among all the people. Little Cherry thought like this and replied to Mrs. June with a smile, "If you believe in your son's vision, you should give me such a chance. What's more, Chenyi doesn't like the Miss Moun you like. Do you think it's appropriate to force two people to be together? Emotions can be cultivated." Mrs. June said it was natural, Moun is a lovable child. If Chenyi has been in contact with her a lot, he will not dislike her. But that's just your idea. If Chennai doesn't like it, what are you going to do? Even if you don't like it, it won't be your turn. Mrs. June was choked by the little Cherry and said such a strong word. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1464. Chapter 1464 June Chennai's Extra Chapter, 78. Little Cherry took a deep breath, thinking that Mrs. June had finally spoken out what was in her heart. She had been so secretive just now, so she had no choice but to accompany her in circles. Mrs. June may have realized that she had made a mistake, and then said, "I don't mean to look down on you, you are a good girl, but you are just not suitable for Chennai. I hope Chennai is happy, and I also hope that the June family will become better. And you may be able to do the former, but you definitely can't do the latter." Little Cherry sneered, "So, what you want to say next is, give me 10 million to let me leave your son." Mrs. June smiled helplessly, "I think you should know what to do. Little Cherry was about to say something, but the door of the box suddenly opened violently. Mrs. Jun's eyes widened and she looked at the visitor in surprise. As soon as Little Cherry turned around, before she could see clearly what was going on, there was a force of gravity on her wrist that held her tightly. Little Cherry was dragged up by Jun Chennai, who had a serious face. Jun Chennai pulled Little Cherry behind him, protected her with his tall body, and then looked up at Jun Chennai with an indifferent face. "Madam, Mom, I didn't expect you to do such a thing." Xiao Liang was behind Jun Chennai, his head lowered, not daring to look at Mrs. Jun. It was really difficult for him to be caught in the middle. He didn't know how Jun Chennai knew that Little Cherry was called away by Mrs. Jun, and then forced himself to tell where they were. He was no match for Jun Chennai, so he had no choice but to confess. Seeing Xiao Liang's guilty look, Mrs. Jun probably knew how Jun Chennai got here. "Things are not what you think," Mrs. Jun defended, looking at Jun Chennai's straight eyes, but unnaturally dodged. However, Jun Chennai didn't buy it and held Little Cherry's wrist firmly. "If you want to see her, just tell me directly. I can take her to see you, but if you see her behind my back in private, what's the point? What kind of heart?" "Jun Chennai, don't do this." Little Cherry tugged at Jun Chennai's sleeve. His angry look frightened Little Cherry. Xiaoying was just acting, but she felt that there was no need to make the relationship between Jun Chennai and Mrs. Jun so tense over something that didn't exist in the first place. Anyway, there was nothing between the two of them, and it would be over after a while. "We no longer owe each other." If Jun Chennai hadn't just rushed in suddenly, Little Cherry would have been prepared to leave Jun Chennai. However, Jun Chennai is here, so things become difficult. "Don't worry about it." Jun Chennai still had a cold face and pulled Little Cherry behind him again. This time, she was completely blocked. Mrs. Jun looked at the scene in front of her and her face turned blue with anger. "Chen Yi, you should know what kind of mistress the Jun family needs. The implication is that small cherries are not suitable." However, Jun Chennai ignored Mrs. Jun's earnest advice and instead said firmly, "It's enough for me to be the only one in the Jun family. As for who the mistress will be in the future, it all depends on who I like. In addition, I will put the burden of the Jun family on her, because I am enough alone." Jun Chennai spoke every word with sonorous force, leaving Mrs. Jun speechless for a moment. So, does her son really like this girl that much? End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1465. Chapter 1465 Jun Chennai's Extra Chapter, 79. Little Cherry opened her mouth, wanting to say something, but she didn't know what to say. Xiao Liang, who was on the side, looked at Little Cherry's expression a little more intriguing. From the beginning, Xiao Liang felt that things between Xiao Yingying and Jun Chennai were developing too fast. As Jun Chennai's personal assistant, Xiao Liang was the person closest to Jun Chennai, but he never found out when the two of them got together. Moreover, looking at Jun Chennai's menacing appearance today, he is serious. Little Cherry felt that Jun Chennai was holding her hand tighter and tighter, as if he was telling her with actions not to be anxious. Little Cherry sometimes wonders whether she is too involved in the drama or Jun Chennai. Little Cherry took a deep breath silently and looked at Mrs. Jun, whose face was turning blue and white. "Chen Yi, you are still young and you don't understand many things at all." Jun Chennai's attitude was not as tough as before, but a little gentler. It was probably because he realized something was wrong after losing his temper. "But you don't understand what I want at all, and since I was a child, I have handled my life very well, and I can also handle my own feelings very well." Jun Chennai continued, "It doesn't matter if you don't like Little Cherry. Anyway, it's me and not you who is with her. The big deal is, I just want her to show up less in front of you." But please don't treat her badly. What despicable means are used? She is different from those people. Jun Chaniai's words were powerful, and they were very shocking to his ears. Mrs. Jun obviously did not expect that her always sensible son would actually speak to her in such a tone because of the woman in front of her. However, at this moment, Mrs. Jun didn't know what to reply. She was all too familiar with the look in Jun Chaniai's eyes. As long as it was something he decided on, there was basically no room for negotiation. Mrs. Jun breathed a long sigh of relief and asked the last question, what is so good about her that attracts you so much? She's not that good either. Jun Chaniai paused and glanced sideways at Xiaoying Tao, who was still in a daze. When Xiaoying Tao met Jun Chaniai's gaze, it felt like an electric shock for a moment. Xiaoying Tao's breathing rate accelerated a lot. But it's fine if I like it? Little Cherry opened her eyes wide in surprise. Xiaoyang's mouth opened like an O. Is this the first time he knew that their president was so flirtatious? After saying this, Jun Chaniai took Little Cherry's hand, bowed slightly towards Mrs. Jun, and whispered, farewell. Then they left like that. Mrs. Jun looked at their leaving figures and sighed. Xiao Yang was very embarrassed to stand where he was, neither could he walk, nor could he not walk. It is said that being a spy is really difficult. Madam, this is really not my complaint, and I don't know how the president knew about it. Xiao Yang felt aggrieved, but Mrs. Jun just rolled her eyes at him, held her forehead, and waved her hand, let's go. Xiao Yang said oh and followed Jun Chaniai's steps. After explaining it here, he had to go to Jun Chaniai to explain it again. It would be fine if someone else could just be an assistant and take care of the work, so why is he so tired? Alas, talking too much will bring tears of bitterness. Boss. Little Cherry called Jun Chaniai from behind. His force was a bit strong and it hurt her a little. Xiaoying Tao could only see a small side of Jun Chaniai's face from the back. It looked like he was really angry. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1466. Chapter 1466 Jun Chaniai Extra Chapter, 80. Jun Chaniai heard Xiao Tao Tao's voice, stood still, let go of his hand, and then spoke angrily without waiting for Xiao Tao Tao to speak, why did you go to see her privately behind my back? Little Cherry opened her mouth, and just when she was about to answer, Jun Chaniai grabbed the words again and continued, didn't you think about what she came to see you for? Why didn't you call me and tell me? Little Cherry was just about to say that Xiao Yang asked her to keep it a secret, when out of the corner of her eye she saw Xiao Yang's face drooping as if he had been struck by a ghost, and he was trotting over, like a death row prisoner awaiting trial. Little Cherry understood it clearly. If she gave Xiao Yang away, Xiao Yang would die miserably. Of course I know why Mrs. Jun is looking for me, but I'm not afraid. What does it mean to not be afraid? Jun Chaniai raised his eyebrows, his tone was cold and stern, and he looked at Little Cherry's clear eyes. Is it possible that you really plan to take her money and leave quickly? What nonsense are you talking about? Xiao Ying's tone also became colder. I just think that we will be separated sooner or later. If your mother is worried, I will let her relax. Are you going to tell her the truth? Jun Chaniai's face turned darker and darker. Of course not. There are so many ways to comfort, why should I choose the stupidest one? Xiao Ying said confidently, besides, there was no need for you to lose your temper with Mrs. Jun just now. What she said was quite reasonable. A big family like yours must find a well-matched person to deal with. What makes sense? Jun Chaniai suddenly raised his voice and yelled, which frightened Little Cherry and cut her off before she could finish her sentence. Then she stared blankly at Jun Chennai, who had lost his temper for no apparent reason. What on earth did she say that made this little ancestor unhappy? Jun Chennai was so angry that his shoulders were trembling slightly, and his sinister eyes began to turn red, making people afraid to look directly at him. Jun Chennai hesitated to speak, but in the end he looked straight at it and swallowed all he wanted to say, with an angry expression. Authentic, you stupid woman. Little Cherry was confused by Jun Chennai's scolding, and immediately began to defend. Hey, why are you like this? Why am I stupid? Jun Chennai didn't answer, but just glared at Xiao Liang. Xiao Liang was so frightened by Jun Chennai's look that he lowered his head, pursed his lips, and said nothing. Jun Chennai ignored Xiao Yingtao and just sat in the car alone. Xiao Yingtao followed. Jun Chennai didn't speak to her again during the whole process. He just crossed his arms and sulked. Xiao Liang felt that the atmosphere was very strange, and didn't say anything. He said that he was still in good condition, and he didn't dare to think about other things. Halfway along the way, Little Cherry's cell phone suddenly rang. It was a call from Siesij He. Xiaoying had not seen him since the last time she met Siesij He. She thought he would never contact her again because of what happened last time, but who knew that he called her again? Little Cherry curled her lips and answered the phone. Hey, brother Sij He. Little Cherry's voice was filled with a girlish charm due to her excitement. Jun Chennai, who was expressionless at the side, suddenly turned gloomy. From the corner of his eye, he saw Little Cherry excitedly holding her cell phone and making a call to the man opposite. It was just a phone call. Did that stupid woman laugh her eyes out? Why are you grinning so big? Cannibalism. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1467. Chapter 1467 Jun Chennai Extra Chapter, 81. Okay, brother Sij He, it's settled, you decide the restaurant, where I want to go. Hearing this, Jun Chen put down his hand and said to the driver, turn on the music. The next second, noisy rock music came from the car, and Little Cherry could not hear what the other party was saying at all. Xiao Qingying took her mobile phone and said to the driver, Master driver, could you please turn off the music? Not good. Jun Chennai interrupted sharply, and Little Cherry looked at him with a mentally retarded expression. Jun Chennai kept a straight face and continued, I want to listen to music. But I'm on the phone. Little Cherry rolled her eyes. She didn't listen just now, but why did she start listening to music as soon as she made a call? Didn't Jun Chennai deliberately go against her? You make your phone call, I listen to my music, and the water in the well does not offend the river. Jun Chennai. Little Cherry couldn't bear it anymore and stopped him. Jun Chennai still looked like he wanted to be beaten. What's the matter? You must have done it on purpose. Jun Chennai slowly looked at her. Little Cherry's face turned red with anger. That look was actually very cute. Jun Chennai's lips curved into an imperceptible smile, and he nodded as if he was deliberately irritating her. Yeah. You. Have you got the nerve to nod? Little Cherry was so angry that she couldn't speak, so she had no choice but to say to the other side of the phone, Brother Sij He, I'll talk to you when I get back. Then she hung up the phone. Turn it off. Jun Chennai slowly uttered these few words, and the music stopped. Little Cherry turned her head and glared at Jun Chennai. This guy really wanted to go against her. He was so childish and unreasonable. Xiao Liang had a confused look on his face the whole time. Although the atmosphere in the air was very solemn, Xiao Liang had just seen clearly that after his president made Xiao Tao angry, he curled his lips and smiled, and he smiled very fondly. Drown. So, did he take a mouthful of dog food and realize it later? After returning home, Xiaoying was about to call Siesij He back. who knew that someone grabbed her wrist again just a few steps away. Little Cherry turned around and faced Jun Chaniai's half-smiling face. "I'm hungry." "Ah." Little Cherry was confused by him. "When you are hungry, go home and look for your mother. Why are you looking for me?" Little Cherry was still angry that Jun Chaniai had just deliberately played music to disturb her and message his phone call. Since he was childish, she should be childish with him. "You go and cook." When Jun Chaniai said this, he turned around sharply, and without knowing why, he snatched the mobile phone from Xiaoying's hand, and gestured in the direction of the kitchen. "You go cook first, I'll give the phone back to you." Little Cherry was so angry that she gritted her teeth. "I don't want it, please give me the phone back." "Ification," Jun Chaniai said, and raised the phone high, deliberately letting Little Cherry reach it. Jun Chaniai, who is over 1.8 meters tall, can't reach the Little Cherry. After trying several times without success, I gave up the struggle. But she was still unwilling to succumb to Jun Chaniai's power. "Damn it, did you take the wrong medicine today?" Little Cherry complained. Jun Chaniai opened Xiaoying's cell phone and showed a disgusted expression after discovering that the wallpaper was her own. Little Cherry was startled, and as if she thought of something, she was about to grab her phone again. "Give me your phone back." Jun Chaniai raised it high above his head and looked down at the girl in front of him. "Go and cook, and I will give it back to you." Abominable. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1468. Chapter 1468 Jun Chaniai Extra Chapter, 82. Little Cherry felt that she was still no match for Jun Chaniai in terms of cheating, so she had no choice but to drag her tired body to the kitchen to prepare something to eat. Jun Chaniai felt happy after achieving his goal. He took Little Cherry's phone that had no password at all and clicked on it to read. As soon as he opened it, a loud voice came from the kitchen. "Jun Chaniai, don't look at my phone. I'm not that bored." Jun Chaniai said this while clicking on the photo album on his mobile phone. There was a faint sound of slaps in the air. "Jun Chaniai, we only have instant noodles, is that okay?" "Can." Jun Chaniai responded and looked down at Xiaoying's mobile phone. After a few minutes, Xiaoying came out with a pot of instant noodles, which was quite fragrant. Xiaoying put the instant noodles on the coffee table. Xiaoying's mobile phone was still in Jun Chaniai's hand. At this moment, Jun Chaniai was staring at her with a look that Xiaoying couldn't understand. "What's wrong, why are you looking at me?" Little Cherry was confused. "Do you think I am a particularly good wife and mother?" Little Cherry said, sniffing the fragrant smell. "It smells so good, it makes me want to eat it too." Jun Chaniai still looked at Little Cherry with an intriguing look. "What are you looking at me for? Didn't you just say you were hungry?" Jun Chaniai didn't say anything, but moved closer and started eating instant noodles. "Give me the phone." Little Cherry stretched out her hand towards Jun Chaniai, ready to take the mobile phone. Jun Chaniai handed her the mobile phone, chewing instant noodles in his mouth, and said something vaguely. Xiaoying didn't hear it clearly, but only vaguely heard some photos and so on. "What the hell?" Little Cherry looked at Jun Chaniai with a blank expression. Jun Chaniai finished the noodles in his mouth. "I asked, why do you keep so many photos of me on your phone?" Little Cherry was speechless by the sentence, and for a moment, she actually blushed in vain. "Me?" The corners of Jun Chaniai's mouth raised slightly, and his smile was so charming that it dazzled his eyes. "You have a crush on me?" Little Cherry took a breath of cold air. "Where is that?" This response speed is still very fast. Jun Chaniai smiled half-heartedly. "Then why are you blushing? Do you think I'm as thick-skinned as you?" Little Cherry then defended, "It's just that I was young and ignorant, and I was just a fan of yours." Jun Chaniai frowned. "Why do you become a young and ignorant person when you are my fan?" However, After hearing this explanation, Jun Chennai seemed not satisfied. Is it really as simple as just a fan? Otherwise, what else do you want? Little Cherry blushed even more, thinking of something, and added, I told you not to peek at my phone. This is a sign of uneducatedness. For you. Before Xiaoying finished what she said, Jun Chennai handed over his mobile phone. Little Cherry was startled and froze. What are you doing? As compensation, I'll show you my phone. Jun Chennai said calmly, but Xiaoying felt that the mobile phone handed over was like a hot potato. She didn't dare to pick it up. Don't watch, forget it. No, I want to see it back. Xiaoying said this and snatched Jun Chennai's cell phone over again. Just, what should she look at? It doesn't matter to her. If he looks at her photo album, then she should also look at his. Little Cherry thought so, and clicked on Jun Chennai's photo album, and then saw a lot of herself. What the hell? Why is she always in Jun Chennai's photo album? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1469. Chapter 1469 Jun Chennai's Extra Chapter, 83. Hey, what do you mean? Why do you save so many photos of me in your phone's photo album? Little Cherry held up Jun Chennai's cell phone in confusion and asked, with a look of surprise on her face. Moreover, many of them were taken recently, and they haven't even had time to be sent out yet. How did Jun Chennai get them? No, that's not important. What's important is why is this guy putting so many photos of her on his phone? It would be fair to say that these are Smiles group photos, but these are all individual photos of Little Cherry. Little Cherry had a very dangerous idea in her mind at the moment. Why did she feel that Jun Chennai was acting like a crazy fan? Jun Chennai still looked deaf and slowly ate the instant noodles Xiaoying made for him. Would you like some? Little Cherry's face darkened and she refused to answer his words. Forget it, she was too lazy to think about it so much because she found that she couldn't think about Jun Chennai according to common sense. Maybe Jun Chennai thought she was being sentimental. With these thoughts in mind, Little Cherry put down her phone and prepared to leave the restaurant, but just after taking a few steps, Jun Chennai grabbed her wrist. Where to? Jun Chennai's voice at this time was low and charming, making people's ears tingle. Little Cherry trembled and turned around to look at where Jun Chennai was holding her wrist. What are you doing? Just after saying this, Jun Chennai used a strong force on his hand and directly pulled Little Cherry onto his lap. Due to inertia, Little Cherry sat straight up on it. When she realized what had happened and wanted to break free, her whole body was restrained tightly by Jun Chennai's elbows, unable to move at all. Little Cherry's face turned red and hot, and for a moment, she didn't know what to say. Little Cherry held her breath and asked cautiously, Jun Chennai, what are you doing? Jun Chennai finished all the instant noodles in the bowl and drank all the soup, then wiped his mouth gracefully, and finally looked at the frightened kitten in his arms. He curled his lips and looked at the other person with a pair of deep and charming eyes. I'll give you another chance to explain the photo album on your phone. Jun Chennai had a warm smile on his face, but it made Little Cherry's scalp tingle. A pair of clear eyes widened, trying to avoid Jun Chennai's gaze, but found that it was impossible to hide under Jun Chennai's animalistic gaze. It's just, what I just said. God, what happened to Jun Chennai today? Staring at her like this with such a handsome face can easily make people sin. Okay. Little Cherry thought secretly in her heart and dared not say anything. So you don't like me? Oh my God. So foul. How could Jun Chennai look at her with the expression of a wounded little beast? She felt so excited that she just wanted to push him down, Wait a minute, what was she thinking? You are so dumbfounded in front of a face like mine, woman, you are really cruel. Slow. Little Cherry swallowed, feeling that things were getting worse and worse. She had to stop this behavior before anything went wrong. Say boss, have you been drugged? What else would you do if you suddenly become pregnant? It's scary, isn't it? She is not Luziawai. Facing such a face, she can't control it, okay. After hearing these words, Jun Chaniai's face turned black. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1470. Chapter 1470 Jun Chaniai Extra Chapter, 85. Although I don't think you are a bad person, I can't rule out the possibility of a small incident happening. I just want to protect myself. Little Cherry lowered her eyes, as if thinking of something from the past, and a man and a woman are alone in the same room. If something really happens, I will be the one who suffers. Jun Chaniai let out a silly laugh. Little Cherry was puzzled. Why are you laughing? Why did you suffer the loss? Little Cherry's face darkened. This person really doesn't know what to focus on. Etc. Jun Chaniai stared at the anti-wolf stick again. Have you prepared this thing early in the morning? Little Cherry didn't hide it, and nodded and admitted, yes, I wasn't familiar with you at that time, and you suddenly asked me to live in your house. There was no one in your house, so of course I had to do a good job of protecting you. All right. Jun Chaniai didn't know what to say. And you just suddenly lost your temper. Who knows why you knocked on my door in the middle of the night? Xiaoying Tao was not angry when she saw Jun Chaniai, but became more and more reasonable when she spoke. Jun Chaniai. He was speechless. He was clearly planning to make a domineering confession, but in the eyes of Little Cherry, it turned out that he was arrogant. Well, he does have a unique vision. This girl is quite interesting. Little Cherry saw the corners of Jun Chaniai's lips gradually twitching, and she felt weird in her heart. Why are you laughing? Little Cherry asked. It's okay, just go to sleep. Scientists say lack of sleep will make people stupid. Small Cherry. If you have something to say, just say it directly. Why are you beating around the bush? I'll tell you when you're smarter. After Jun Chaniai finished speaking, he turned around and prepared to leave. Etc. Little Cherry stopped Jun Chaniai, pursed her lips, and finally asked the question she had just been thinking about while tossing and turning in bed. What else? Jun Chaniai paused and turned his face sideways. Why on earth do you save so many photos of me on your phone? Jun Chaniai's lips curved into a nice smile. Maybe it's the same reason as yours. Jun Chaniai left after saying that, while Little Cherry remained in place. Similar to her reasons. Can Jun Chaniai still become her fan? Funny, right? Wait, isn't that right? The reason why Xiao Yingying still kept those photos was because she realized some time ago that she seemed to have undue thoughts about Jun Chaniai. Could it be that Jun Chaniai could still be like her? The more Little Cherry thinks about it, the more dizzy she becomes. It's going to be another sleepless night tonight. The Smile Group's popularity remained high, and they later released an album, which became the #1 best-selling album and became a huge success. Recently, the company is arranging variety shows for Smile. Generally speaking, Shengding artists only appear on variety shows a year after their debut. The purpose is to do their job well first, and then go on variety shows to attract fans from the public. However, since Smile debuted more than half a year ago, their performance has been outstanding, so they made an exception and let them appear on variety shows in advance. Naturally, those participating are the most popular variety shows recently. As soon as the trailer came out, there was a lot of discussion on the internet. After all, this is Smile's first time on a variety show, so everyone can see the personalities and character traits of Smile members outside of the works. The fake romance between Xiao Yingtao and Jun Chennai is still going on. Jun Chennai also takes Xiao Yingtao out to eat and watch movies from time to time, pretending to be photographed by the media and continuing to hype up the relationship to keep it popular. "Hey, let's go out together in the evening." Jun Chennai suddenly walked up to Xiao Ying and said in a commanding tone. Before little Cherry had time to reply, the person was already gone. End of this chapter.